Well, we'll see if we get anyone, or we can see the aftermath of my prep to move. How you doing, Raven? Nice to see you. Just making up a link here, just in case. Join. I thought I'd throw a little stream together after the aftermath of MPMI 120. We'll see if we get a few people want to shoot the breeze or not. Hey. Was that me sniffing or was that somebody else sniffing? That was me sniffing. Can you imagine? I heard myself sniff. So I think I'm going to have to get the volume turned down on that other phone, but I can do that in a minute. You can see my snails from my 120 floating that I have saved. Kind of cool, actually. Probably only recovered about, what, 4 crab? Yeah, not too bad. Definitely turn that off for now. There we go. I'll throw one up to, she said she's not getting her notifications. How you been? Now, seeing a few more people coming in. Bees, how you doing, Bees? I thought I'd just throw a stream up tonight to see how everybody's doing. Let everybody know I'm still okay. Just been busy. I tore down the 120 starting yesterday, so it was a little rough. Actually, I am going to go do something right now, guys, because I just realized the lid's not on this tank, and I got a bunch of jumpers in here. So, with the 9, hey, Salty Reef. Cool. There we go. Cool. That'll at least keep most of my jumpers from jumping out. Oh, well, good for you, Eddie. I'm glad that you know it. No, so 5 people. That's not too bad. That's up in case I need it. Yeah, so no, overall it went pretty well. I was going to document it, and it was so wild and woolly. Yeah, I can. Give me a sec here, bud. I am not going to keep that, so you hold on to it for now, but get a few links in here. Eddie, if you want to hop in, there's a link a little further up. Should work. Bees, your link is sent. The fox face and the rabbitfish both made it to Prince Edward Island in one piece and are happily in a QT tank right now. Actually, I can kind of show you guys.
How are we doing today?
We're doing all right.
Let me adjust my camera. There we go.
So we'll leave it to my wife to put up a sad post, but let's see here.
I'm not happy with you, Craig, selling that.
Yeah, nobody. So just for everyone to see, there's the aftermath of the 120 work. You guys see? Oh, right. I got to present. There we go. Wait for that to come up. Hey, how you doing there? That's bees, and there we go.
He's doing some work.
That is
what
my.
Are you doing on that?
What is it?
I'm gonna. Is that showing? Hold on a sec here.
Yeah, I can see your tank.
There it is. I got to show for everyone else. So that's my 120 gallon, folks. As my wife said, it was a sad day. Her heart is broken. It'll show up there for everybody. There you go. So there's my 120, folks.
What did you do? Were you just pulling it down, or?
Yeah, I'm just tearing it down so that I can store it. So tonight it's just going to sit. I'm going to keep looking for any life besides bristleworms, and there are bristleworms. There's one. He's a good 8 inches. He's a big one. Yeah.
Save him.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If the foxface were still alive, he would have munched him if he saw him. Yeah. But yeah, so that's that. And then let's see here. The guy who bought the fox and the tang did put up a picture. And there you go, guys. And there's the fox and the tang from my tank doing comfortably in PEI.
Are they in a store, or is that an actual home tank?
It's a QT. It's a guy's quarantine tank.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No, he had an outbreak of ick. He doesn't want to mess around. He said, "Your guy's been treated." I said, "Long time ago, man." But I said, your mileage may vary. Don't go nuts. I said, because you know how that works out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, other than that, go ahead.
I've had a really good day with the reefing hobby today.
Oh.
Michelle's been, and that's not sarcasm. Michelle's been, encouraging the hobby.
Oh, in what way? Spending money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The local fish store.
I kept picking more and more and more.
They had a 2 for 1 on frags. They wanted to clear up a load of room. So they only announced it last night. They didn't say anything about it prior. It was just flash sale this weekend, 2 for 1. Right. So I said previously, the 55 display was going fallow.
Right.
That has only just got 2 fish back in it yesterday before they said anything. And with any because I'm pretty sure I got the ick from them. They're a fish store, it happens.
Right, yeah, it does. Yeah.
It wasn't because I was quarantining the fish off them, but I didn't quarantine the corals. And I think that's where I imported the ick. So the plan was for anything wet, inverts, corals, anemones, they're all going into their own quarantine tank, and the fish are going into their quarantine tank. Fish treat with copper, corals just left fallow for 3 months. Oh.
It's pretty much it. And if you guys notice, the blood shrimp made it through the tang's attacks. He's down there in the bottom of the tank. So I'm very pleased to see him. He was a bugger to catch. What a little shit.
Because the tennis seems a little short.
Yeah, they're a little short, aren't they? He was getting nipped, but he was a lot smarter. The cleaner never seemed to find a hiding place that he could kind of keep his antenna tucked. He would tuck his antennas. So when he got picked up, it would always be he was coming out to eat, from what I could see anyway. So, but he's doing all right. But that's great bees, man. Look, this 20 right now is loaded. There's the 2 Darwin clownfish, a lawnmower blenny, the Lubbock's wrasse, 2 orange striped cardinals, the Bengal cardinal, 2 clown gobies, and the shrimp. Yeah.
Come on, people. There's 4 of us watching. 3 should be, and only 3 likes. Come on.
I sent you a link, Tina, if you're listening.
Hi, Tina.
So can I just do a quick show you what's going on with my? I need to turn the lights back on,
You
actually.
sure can, man.
Right, just let me turn all the lights on because the timers have turned them off. Okay, so I was having a bit of an issue with the display tank with it being fallow for so long.
Right.
I've had a few corals that, quite annoyingly, I've had an acan that is going as bulbous as I've ever seen it. It's huge.
Mhm.
However, one of the polyps bailed off.
Oh, yeah.
I
Okay.
wasn't sure why. I'm just assuming that because it was one of two reasons. It's either so big, because it is huge when it's pumped up, and it's fighting for space, so it just got bullied out and thought, I can do this better on my own. Or because it was fishless for nearly 3 months, the nitrates were just getting so low, there just wasn't enough to keep it going. Another acan's looking a bit battered now, and I'm a bit worried about it, but we've just got to see how it goes. Now there's fish back in, it might give them a bit of something to feed on. A couple of acans are really shriveling up. They're not opening at all, which is a bit worrying, but not zoas. But we'll see how they're going. So pardon the water stains. I'll turn the camera on.
Well, any change is always going to cause them to kind of freak out. So there we go.
This is the display. The mushroom's not opening up as much as it should. If you can see around the back here, you can see all the little bugs.
Yup.
They're literally everywhere crawling around. Even at the back of the tank, you can just see them crawling all over.
You got big amps. Those are amphipods.
It's been 3 months with no fish, so they got a bit out of control.
Yeah. Oh, the fish will love it when they get in there. Trust me.
Yeah, I told Shelley, it's like, it might look disgusting now, but when those fish get back in there, they're going to love it. They're going to feast and be so fat.
Well, I've got all my snails that I could find. And there were a lot of snails I went looking for. Who just dropped off? Who was in here? Oh, that was your extra camera, wasn't it? Never mind. Never mind. But yeah, it's, you know, it's what it is. That a pectina on the left, or I can see your cleaner.
He's a fire shrimp. The red
Is
one.
it a fire like mine? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it is.
Yeah, I don't know how well you can see it because I'm holding you around the side next to the wall. But there's also this thing here. It's a blue symposium, and it was about 3 times the size of that. But for some reason, it just started shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. So I got to the point, I took it out, did a dip, put it in a bit of a shaded area to see if it had parasites or anything wrong with it. I'm hoping just same with the others, like my Lobo. See how it's really closed up? Yeah. I'm just hoping that these two are closed up because it's nighttime. I've only just turned the lights back on, which is why they're all shut. But I'm hoping that they are going to, with the fish coming back in, they're going to open up a bit more and get some more nutrients in. That's the display. This is Shelley playing games happily.
I've never seen Shelley. Hello, Shelley.
Hello.
Always good to have a gamer wife.
Yeah. My wife's playing World of Warcraft now.
This is how we do it. Just let me turn this on. Is that the light? Yep. Take the blue off so you can see it.
Oh.
Right. So yeah, we've got PlayStation and TV, fireplace, fish tank, fireplace, PlayStation and TV.
Hey, well, and that fish tank with that fish tank there. What's that in the corner? Look like in the back right-hand corner.
I'm just looking now. My Bangai cardinal was just circling, looking really, really bad. It might have just been sleeping, but
yeah, that might have been what I saw. I just for a moment there, I thought you had a bit of aptasia back there.
No, he was just.
Down, but the lights were off for a while, so.
I don't know if that's him sleeping or what, but I've never seen him do that.
Yeah, before. That's not. No, they don't do that. Yeah,
what the heck's going on with him?
Turn the light off. Leave him be. Something's definitely wrong with him, buddy. Sorry to say that that is not normal behavior for a Bengie.
The hell, he was fine earlier. I don't know what's going on.
We haven't introduced anything new into that.
No, that tank's been on. It's like that for
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah.
Huh. Because my Bengay Cardinal, he went at night, he just floats in space. Right? That's the way they sleep. They don't really lay down. So he may be, who knows? Yeah.
It might be. I just don't. Yeah, he's a bit more upright now. I don't know if you can see him under
Yeah,
there.
I can see my bed. No.
I might have just shocked him,
Maybe.
but I've never seen him do that before. But he looks a bit better now. Actually, he's got a bit of colour in him now that I've turned the lights off.
Yeah.
And
Stop
yeah,
looking
he's
at
swimming upright. So.
Yeah, get away. Get away. Don't be the little 13. Oh, my guys. I sold a majority of the fish were sold to a 13-year-old girl. I did not.
What fish?
Almost all the fish out of the 120 went to a 13-year-old girl.
Did the parents buy it for her to look after for her, or did they just...
That's kind of the way I see it, but they really don't know anything. So she's got this 160-gallon tank that she's running on a canister filter, and I'm like, okay, what size is the canister filter? And she said Fluval 206, and I almost choked. Right? And I said, that's nowhere near enough. I said, you need to go out looking for an AquaClear 110. I said, what are you using on the other side? You said, yeah, something else I hang on the back. And she goes, oh, it's an AquaClear 70. Well, that's better than nothing. I said, but you definitely need more. So she bought my wave makers. I made her a wicked deal and said, look, I'll sell these to you. They need to be cleaned, and here's how you clean them. I'm not going to do it for you now. We'll be here all night. Right? I said, but put them in soak overnight in vinegar and water. I said, clean them off completely because there's bubble algae and other crap on them, right?
Yeah.
And they were loaded with coralline. They were purple. You know what I mean? So they were definitely loaded up. And I said, when you put them on, I said, leave them the settings I've got on there. I said, that should be enough. I said, and sort of point them, put them about 1/3 down and point them up at the surface. Start agitating the surface of that water because I guarantee you've got oxygenation problems. And what's worse, she messages me, all the fish were doing okay. The two clowns, the Odo and Dax, the Wyoming White and the Flurry. And a big tank like that, if they don't get along, well, they can just stay away from each other. You know what I mean? Like, she won't actively search them out, I don't think, on that far of a span.
It's big enough for it to hide, yeah.
You got it. But that big Royal Grama of mine, the big, you know what a Grama is. I guess she just sort of floated to the bottom and stayed there all night. And she panicked. And I said, chances are she's playing dead. She doesn't want to go looking for turf because you put her in with the lights out. She doesn't want to bump into somebody. Leave her be, right? Oh, you know, I said, don't stick your face in the tank. Don't annoy the fish, right? Leave it alone. So she messaged me today and she goes, well, she's still laying there, but she's breathing. That's just leave her alone. Right? I said, you know, you got to keep the air stone in there. You got to oxygenate your water. I said, I guarantee a lot of your fish loss has been oxygenation problems. Right? And you can tell they don't get it. You know what I mean? Like the minute you're talking to somebody, like, you know, when they don't get it. And it's like, look, I sold you the fish. If you think that you're going to message me and tell me the fish died and I'm going to refund you money, you're insane. I said, that fish left in a bag perfectly healthy. Right?
So, I mean,
go ahead.
It's like that today. When I went to the fish store, last year I bought one bubble tip anemone. I had 4 in this tank this morning. So they've slowly gone from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. I thought a 4th one, we'll take it in for credit, see what we can get.
Yep.
And the woman behind the counter, it wasn't big. It had recently split, so I was only expecting if it was being sold, they'd get 30 quid for it. So I thought, if I get 15, brilliant. You know, it's half the value.
Yep.
But she only offered me 8 initially, and I'm like, no, I want more than that. And so I said, all right, we'll do a tenner. So I thought, screw it. Saves me taking it back, and it's gone. And it's a bit towards this lump sum today with all the eels that are on. So she left it floating in the bag. We were in the shop for 2 hours because we're just going through the coral after coral, thinking, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one. Yep. And then someone was coming in and asking all about it, and it's like, yeah, we brought that in. It's like, it's still floating in the bag. And he took it home. So he was asking us about it. We showed him a few videos, and then he asked the woman behind the counter. He's like, "Oh no, yeah, he's trustworthy." He's like, because obviously I've just done all this quarantine. I'm looking after them properly. So he's like, "Yeah, just be careful as you do. Make sure it doesn't go in wave makers, but it should be fine." It didn't even go in her tank. So when we left, buying a fair number of corals, she actually said, "Right." It was £10 because I was going to have to feed it until it was gone and whatever, but it was only there half an hour, so I'll give you 15.
Oh,
So it was very nice for her to come out afterwards and say, actually, it's gone straight away. To her, she just made 15 quid in minutes. But because it was 2 for 1 for us, it was the equivalent of 2 frags for us.
There you go.
So it swings and roundabouts. But to this guy, it was like, look, I didn't realize you were buying it. I'm giving you the best advice that I've got. Hope it works, but every tank's different.
Yup. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
You've seen the evidence in my tank. They're growing, they're healthy, they're splitting, they're bubbling. Doesn't mean it's going to like your tank.
Nope. And and that's just it. This hobby is that's the word I'm looking for here. Darwinism at its best. Because
Yes.
you'll get people, in all honesty, what you get are, like, that's the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And Mr. Fox did not make it easy to catch him. He almost got me twice. You know what I mean? And everyone's like, "What do you mean he almost got you?" And the girl standing there while I'm catching him, I said, "You guys got to get out of the way." I said, "This guy's venomous." I said, "And he technically is more venomous than a lionfish." And they kind of look at you.
That bad?
They're that bad, yeah. There's no studies done on it. I put a video out today of the guy from Paul Oland from Majestic Aquariums in Australia.
Yeah.
And he talks about it, and it put him in the floor. It put him in the hospital.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, people, it's no joke, right? Fox-faced rabbitfishes, I don't know why, and they can flip out of a tank. I watched my guy jump 1.5 feet out of the water.
I remember watching a video of yours where he was angry for some reason. And it was weird how he did it. Instead of like charging, he kind of just looked up at the top of the tank, and he was just spinning round and round, flipping his like spinning as opposed to swimming. Flipping his
you got it, right?
It was weird.
Yep. He's letting you know I can hurt you. You know what I mean? So he really he put it on, and thankfully when he fell back into the bin I had him in with the rock, he didn't hit the rock straight on. He hit the water first. So there's that deflection because of his flat body, right? And I thought, are you trying to kill yourself just so I don't get the money for you or something? Or what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, and then bagging them this morning, it occurred to me he has spines, big ones. And I'm like, oh, man, I can't put them in the bags I got from the pet store. They're too fucking thin, right? Like,
yeah, he could rip that.
He's gonna rip them apart if he gets upset in there, right? So I went out and got extra large freezer bags from Ziploc, right? And took my time filling those because he was eyeballing me the entire time that I'm filling this up. And I was going to try to guide him in the bag, and I thought all he's doing is flipping around. So I face first caught him in a net. I had a big net that I caught him in out of the tank, right? But I didn't want to have to handle the net and put him in a bag by myself because the wife was sleeping. She had to go to work. So I did that all myself, packed them up, filled the bag with air, put it in between the two of them, taped the bags together so they wouldn't move, stuffed the corners, like went really overboard. And because they had to travel for 8 hours. So they had to go down to the bus stop. I had to put them in there, and then the bus packed them, and I had to write everywhere, this side up, live fish, everywhere. They don't do it.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm just going, oh, man, if you guys kill my fish, I'm going to be so pissed off. So anyway, they got there. The guy took a picture. They're fine. I'm like, that was the best part of the day, but it's a little sad. I've had that fish. Holy shit. I had him. He's 3 years. The clowns are 4, and the firefish. I have not seen the firefish yet today. In the 20? Oh, and that was the other fish, guys. The firefish. Sulu went in the 20. So that's a pretty loaded 20 right now. But you know what? If I'm going to change water and I'm going to do all the work, it's not a big deal. I try and tell people, like, you can overstock a tank. Just remember, it's more work for you to overstock a tank, right? Yeah. How you doing, Raven?
It's just...
not too bad.
Go ahead, Beast. Sorry, it was the same hi to Raven there.
it's we say with the overstock tanks, you see cichlid keepers do it a lot because although you're overstocking the load, it's better for the aggression. But then they know they have to up their water. They either have to up the filtration or up the water changes to deal with that.
To deal with the load. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with Dino in that tank. Okay.
Yes.
So like everyone's like, okay, so yeah, surprise, right? Of course I have Dino and I have cyano problems, right? Prior to this, right? So I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait for this. I'm going to wait for everyone to settle down. Then I'm going to do a chemi-clean run. Big water change, right? And I'm going to do this, right? Because I got coral I got to save in there too. And then when we move, I'm going to have a bottle of Vibrant Reef on hand. And then I'm going to start dealing with the bubble algae. Once I've got the tank settled again, everybody's okay, away we go, right? So trying to find a place to keep a fish tank right now is absolutely, no joke, fucking hilarious. I was looking at one place, the floors were so crooked, I literally wanted to go get the ball bearings out of my car, sit them down and see if they'd all meet in the middle from the corners.
I lived in a place that it was like that. Freaking 200-year-old house.
Yeah.
It's the same here. We're Victorian terrace houses.
Yeah.
So at the time they were put up quick and fast, and they're built to last. These houses. We've said there's a lot of modern builds now that are like cardboard. These houses will outlast them because they will just need constant maintenance. Where these, every 20 years you need to maybe do a patch repair on a roof, and then it's good for another 20.
Right.
Same with when we decorated the bedroom. Considering this is 100 years old, I was knocking plaster off that had horsehair in it. So that plaster must have been over probably the same plaster that it was built with.
Yeah, I would say so. So Corey, you got a problem. You're using a lot of alk and not a lot of calcium. Okay.
Magnesium.
Yeah, and your magnesium's 1350. Okay.
How
stocked is your tank? How big? I guess a couple of quick questions here. I was not expecting to get into that, but that's okay. We can get into that. My brain's functioning in a fish mode anyway, so.
Can I show you today's editions?
As you can see from my wall beside me, this here is all freaking cinder block construction.
Yep.
50s. And it's going to last a while. It's not like the old house I was living in up in New Hampshire.
No, I find that eastern states and Canada, it's the homes are so old for some of them that like there was one we went and looked at and it was nice. It was a little small for a 3. Like, when you consider my desk is one of those big L desks, you know what I mean, with a hutch and everything. Like I got to look at a room and go, I need 4 feet and 4 feet. You know what I mean, in a corner. And there's like so many I can't even do that. So yeah, there was one place though I could have put the ball bearings on the floor and it would have went to the 4 corners. So it was dropping on the edges, right? Which I looked at my wife, no way. That means the frame is dropping out. So, the foundation, is dropping out, not the frame. So she's like, oh, no. And the cabling. I don't know what the guys from fucking, the cable company are thinking, but how many holes do you got to drill, man? Yeah.
All right. Can I show you today's editions?
Sure.
Maybe you could name this an enemy that no one, not even the store, knew what it was. So
I can try.
It's just a daylight light for the minute. So that's a chalice coral. I don't know if it's going to focus or.
Kind of.
At a distance. There
we go.
So that's a chalice coral. It's got it looks like a volcano. It's got really nice red on the top.
Yeah.
It's 2 blastos. When the blue light was on, the screen center looked more white and the outside looked quite purple.
Nice.
I've got 2 SPS there. One is a Stylophilia, which is that one. And then this one begins with a G, Gotata or something like that. I can't remember the exact name. I wrote it down, but I can't say it. Plesiosaur at the back. A Duncan that, believe it or not, has 5 heads there.
Yep.
There's 3 across the middle. Then there's 1 on either side of that middle pod that's growing out. So I thought that was a great opportunity to buy a small Duncan with 5 heads for, what, £12.
There you go.
Yes.
That is quite a unique flavour of flava.
Yeah.
I'll try and get it with the blue lights and the orange filter in a minute. And then there's a pineapple coral, which again look fantastic in blue. You just stick the lens on. Oh, and can you try and tell us what this anemone is? It's pink.
Oh yeah, that is that's a fish eater, buddy.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right.
That is not it'll eat even a clown.
Really?
Yes, sir.
So
Long tentacled anemone of some sort. I forget exactly what they're called. I could probably get it identified for you, but tube anemone, I think, is what they call them.
It's not a tube.
But it's not. He's not. He's not quite.
It's they had tubes, and they seem to all lie flat on the bottom and merge into each other in the sand. This is actually sitting on the rock, and it's very pink. It looks quite pale there because the lights have just come on, but normally it's very pink, and it's so fast to react. I mean, if I just stir the water a little near it,
Yep.
boom, gone. And then give it a few seconds, it'll come. It's almost like a fly trap. It'll just come straight back out.
Yeah, give me a sec. I'll get that identified for you, Joel. Joel, where are you, Joel?
They were just calling it a rock anemone. Some were what they were sold it as from the suppliers was a volcano anemone, which they've never heard of. But it's not a tube because I know they had the tubes in, and it's not quite like that because it's stood up.
It's not. It doesn't look like a tube.
I have no idea. I don't know an enemy.
It's baffled us as well. I mean, that's why it's in this container at the minute. It's got a few holes drilled in, and the back's cracked when I was drilling one of the holes. So there's plenty of fresh water getting into it, and it's happy enough. There's also a bristleworm in there in that rock it came on. So that anemone's not coming out of there until it's come off the bloody rock.
Yeah.
Great detritus eater.
Yeah, everyone freaks out about it.
I don't mind the fact that it's in there, as in it's a pest or whatever. I just don't like the risk of grabbing a rock and getting stung.
That's why I wear gloves, sir.
Me too.
I had gloves on the entire time I was dealing with my tank, and I'll tell you, like I said, we had one in our tank 7 inches. He was at least 7 inches long.
My old lady can get me nitrile gloves from work all the time. So,
yep.
Boxes and boxes.
That's the chalice with like an orange lens.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It's quite. It's a pain trying to focus it on here. It doesn't seem to focus on the live chat for some reason. And same with that. So I mean, it goes really white in the middle.
But you're right. It does look like a volcano. I'd name it Madame Pele.
Really nice.
Then this one's got like a green tint to it when it does focus. And then this one's got like a bluey purple. Let's see if I can get this lens in on it. It's making it worse. Now, this at the back, the flava, I'll try and show you it because when it said it's Favius, I keep calling it Flavia. When it said its best light, it's really red around the edges where it's growing fresh. So I'm blocking all the light out typically. Try not to drop it. Oh no! Come on.
Okay.
So, can you see that if it focuses? How bright and red that is on the edges?
Yep.
There.
Yeah, that's that. Remember I told you about the coralline algae that when it grows, it almost looks like it's living and it was like dripping orange stuff? Right? That's what it is. It's just coralline, just excessive amounts of it.
It's not coralline. That's the coral itself.
That's doing that for you?
Yeah, that's the coral itself doing it. Now, what's on the plug, the ready glow, is that coralline. It's quite difficult to get a good picture because I'm trying not to drop my phone in the tank.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, there. Can you see how clear that is now?
Oh yeah.
That's the actual coral itself.
Nice.
So, I mean, down at the bottom, yeah, that's the coralline, but around, see how it's just all around the edges of it as well? As you spin it, and then across the top. So it's quite a unique one, how it's, because normally the colour pattern's consistent, but that just to have it on the edges is a bit unusual. There we go, there easy. Right, I'll try and turn the camera off without wetting my phone. There we go. So that's today's editions anyway.
Very cool.
The pineapple coral as well. It looks very plain in the daylight, but when the blues come on, it's like a bright orange, and it's like a pineapple. It's not just the fact that it's a pineapple coral, it actually looks like the colouring.
Mm-hmm.
So, which else was it? I mean, we worked it out, and it was because I got 10 snails as well, just to top up the teen. Yes, and the anemone. Got 10 snails as well to top up the cleanup crew there in that tank, and altogether it was eight frags, 10 snails, and an enemy. Should have been about £220, and we got it for 114 with the trade-in.
Nice.
So
good price, not bad. About $160 Canadian, I think.
yeah,
not too bad. Not too bad. So,
but the logic as well was because I'm quarantining there and there for. To me, it's 76 days, 77 days, 11 weeks to do the 100%. Everything's dead. And if that's the case, if I save up or estimate a spending of £10 a week, maybe 15, the next time it comes round, I've got another £150 to spend in 11 weeks' time. So I'll stock it up again, buy a few fish, whatever it might be that I want to do that time, do it again, and just keep on with it like that now.
So I asked my buddy what you have there. He just dropped in. He said it is a tube anemone.
Definitely.
And he said, but it's what kind he's not sure because he'd have to see it healthy and colored up.
Yeah.
But he said even then it's not going to matter. And the first thing he did was send me a picture of a clownfish getting eaten by one. I'll leave it to Joel to be a dick. Here, I'll show you. I thought that was hilarious. It's like, really? That? Well, okay. I said I already told them that, but yeah. So you've got a fish killer. But now remember, fish are smart. They know not to do that. It's always the accidental rushed into it, we call it.
I mean, if it is what it is, and because I've been doing research, and I'll start looking at more of them now, and see if I can match it. And if it is, and it is a killer.
We don't have anything of value.
What do you mean we don't have anything of value? We've got 2 clowns to bang.
Yeah, you know what? All fish are valuable, woman.
They're the standard clowns, is what she's saying. They're not the.
Yeah, they're just awesome. Yeah. So there you go. Can you see that, Bees?
Let's have a look. I can only see myself at the minute. I can see yours. There we are. Yeah, it's not. I'm hoping it's not that, because I did see that.
Yeah. Any of the ones that are long and stringy like that, and some of them are really pretty, like really gorgeous looking. The problem is they all do that. If they're very long, stringy tentacles, any tube anemone it doesn't host. It is just a killer. So
yeah.
Just a warning. Just saying. Come on now. Not trying to be mean. Not trying to knock it. And they are pretty. That's the problem. You know. Come on, cleaner shrimp. Do your job. Get in there. Come on. No. So there you go.
I mean, the tube anemone, it doesn't.
There's many variations. He said many. Right. Like I'm looking at one now that looks kind of like yours, except it's white. You know what I mean? Like some of them have a hardened shell, some of them don't. You know, it's a very vague description. You know what I mean? For you, like he said, to really identify it, he'd have to almost have a steady shot in full color for him to actually start looking at it and going, okay, so this is this soft. Like I actually can see several of them, and some of them get really long tentacles. Their sweeper is really long, right? So that's how they end up getting a clown, because a clown's like, I should be fine. Oh no, I guess I'm not.
Yeah, I mean it acts like one. It just doesn't look like any of these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the way that it closes up so fast, the way that it's sucks in.
Well, you got to remember, there's many variations, right? So he could be a tube anemone, he could be a rock anemone, right? But usually rock, but he's not a rock flower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's many variations on these guys, right? So yeah. I'd just be careful. Just
So what was it? Yeah. What was the actual colour of it? Without being under blues.
It's a tube. Yeah, it's a tube. I know it's a tube. Because you don't
I
get
was gonna
pink
say,
very often. Go ahead, Raven.
No, I was going to say, if it's got like a pink base.
It looked white. Or is it a pink base too?
Yeah.
It's a paler pink. It's not white.
It's pale pink.
Yeah. Pale pink. I was thinking like a ghost anemone.
It could be a ghost too, which is a type of tube anemone. So, yeah. Variations on the theme. Any way you look at it, he eats fish. That's what he eats. So if you keep them fed, and the worst part is, even if you keep them fed, they don't give a crap. They just sting anyway, right?
Yeah, if they got something, they didn't have it, haven't they?
Yeah. Usually what a lot of people find, it's like elephant ear mushroom. You ever seen an elephant ear mushroom, guys?
Mm-hmm.
We watch one eat a clown
They're
goby.
big. Yep. Yeah.
Poor clown goby's just sitting there and all of a sudden,
I've seen probably about a 20 each one or something stupid like that, size of a dinner plate.
You know, learn the hard way, right? You know, it wasn't me. It was another, it was a guy who does the pods locally here. And it's like, yeah, that sucks, man. He said, I lost 6 before I figured it out. I'm like, well, you had good meals. Yeah.
Well, what I'll do, Craig.
You fed it well.
Yeah.
I've got your email address, because obviously you just sent me the link. Tomorrow, when it's nice and settled.
Yeah, send me some pics and I'll send them off to my guy that's really good with them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'll send, because obviously on here, it doesn't get the same quality. So I'll take some proper pictures tomorrow and send them over, see what they say. Because even just have the ID, I mean, to me, we'll have a bit of a discussion about this. But to me, if it's a fish killer, I'd rather take it back and exchange it. I didn't get a response from Shelley then, so I don't know how she feels.
Yeah. Did you guys notice I managed to save my mushrooms too? They're up left of the devil's hand, so where the light is in the frame, you can see the devil's hand below it, and to the left, that's the hairy mushroom that I had. I literally was able to just pull them right off. I got lucky there with both of them, actually.
Yeah, but
so I'm actually looking forward to seeing how the 20 turns out now that it's stocked.
Yeah.
So
Shelley's just read up on it and said that the carpet anemones are just as dangerous as the tubes, and then I pointed out that I wouldn't have a carpet anemone. So.
No, and the problem is I've seen a maxi carpet, like maxi carpets. They were fine with the clownfish at first, and then all of a sudden decided, no, I'm going to eat you. A lot of people just don't bother with them. They're gorgeous. Rock flowers are safer, but even then, again, it really depends on if they're hungry.
Well,
right?
a rock flower it won't host anything in it, but it will. If something gets it, it will have it. But they don't. They don't have the same sort of tentacles like these ones do.
No, they're not as stingy. Their sting isn't as nasty. Now, I've seen a foxface get stung by a rose bubble tip that it took forever for him to recover from it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the guy actually held the fish for hours. Well, because he couldn't swim, right? And he just held him in front so that he was getting in front of the what do you call it? Yeah, in front of a jet. So he was getting air over his gills, right? Water. Yeah, it's a weird hobby that you know, we love these things. They're gorgeous to look at. And then you don't realize that, you know, in some way, shape, or form, it's like that big donut coral that's still scrunched up there by the Bengi. He has the propensity to eat little fish. You know what I mean? He can do it if he wants.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so. But yeah, you know, it's all cool.
Yeah, the tentacles on this are a lot shorter. But like you said, I mean, that's in there for 72 days. So if it starts to look like that, I mean, I'll speak to the stores and tell them. Because like I said, they didn't know what it was. So I thought, well, we like it. I've got the quarantine. I'm not just dumping it in a tank and saying, good luck. It's
Exactly right.
something that worst case scenario, if it got too big or when we found out what it was, we couldn't keep it. It was too much of a risk. We're not, oh shit, it's now on a rock in the tank and we can't get it out.
No, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get you guys yakking. I gotta go dump some snails in the tank here in a minute. Yeah.
So anybody have any
They'll be all right.
ideas on how I mean, I was looking at aquascaping, you know, because, you know, as you can see, nothing's set up yet.
Right, yeah.
I was thinking about drilling my rock and getting some sort of peg to put in there.
Acrylic rods.
Just acrylic rods?
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
acrylic rods, or you can get, you can even use, you know, the ones from Venetian blinds and vertical blinds.
Oh, yeah.
Right, you can use those. The problem is they tend to snap. Right, so if there's too much weight, they really can't hold too much. But even acrylic rods break, right? But the chances are, as long as you drill the straight, you don't put too much weight against them, they tend to hold very well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was, you know, because I don't have that the rock I got, you know, is, you know, not going to interconnect very well, and I just was hoping that we could, you know, I could drill and peg them.
Yep, absolutely can, and you can use a hacksaw to cut the bases, make them nice and flat, and that'll give you a lot to work with too, right?
Yeah. Cut first. That's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, cut first, then start stacking, and yeah. Go ahead.
If you get a piece of cardboard the size of your tank,
I can get that easily enough.
Yeah. And then what you want to do is stack your rock on that cardboard, and come in about 2 inches from all the sides. Then that way you'll be able to clean it easier. 2 inches around that cardboard. Yeah. And also take photos as you're doing it, so that you know which way to put it back into your tank when you're happy. Yeah. But that's probably the best way. And if it can stick to cardboard, you should be okay to put it in your tank.
All right.
Once you've got your design down.
You know. So I'm gonna have to go searching for some acrylic rods.
Yeah, the guys I went to, the local fish store, they had like a nice big plate, and I mean this thing's like 1/2 meter long by 30 centimeter wide, and he drilled straight into the bottom of it, and then stuck an acrylic rod in, and then just placed and cemented it, and then placed it into another one. So he had like this massive overhang across the top of his tank. It looked fantastic for corals just planted on the top of it. The only thing was because it was so big. I mean, it was in a 7-foot tank, but it was so big. It got fed up of the amount of shadow that it casted. So he just I've had enough. I need to get rid so I can put more underneath and around it. There's a few cool corals that you could keep underneath in the dark shade, sun corals and whatever else.
Sun corals,
yeah. But then he said there was more effort than because he was running the shop.
Yeah.
He couldn't be looking after a tank and feeding them every day after hours because he was busy during the day and stuff. So he's just like, it looks fantastic, but it was a hassle to keep.
And the other thing that you got to remember as well is if you're going to keep like SPS or whatever, you got to remember it's going to grow, and if it grows high, something that's going to grow high, you want to leave enough room at the top of the tank for stuff to grow up.
Yeah, I'm looking for softies and LPS. So right now.
Yeah. I mean, softies softies, if you've got like Kenya trees and things like that, again, they're going to grow high sometimes.
You said it yourself as well. You just said right now. If you plan, I would say now from experience, if you're planning a tank, right now is, that's great, but you're going to end up doing other things. Like, I've had 3 SPS corals before. Killed every one of them.
You guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
So I had
Sorry, I
3
gotta
SPS
get this
corals
done.
before.
So, come on, grab on. You're a survivor.
Yeah, I had 3 SPS corals before. In England, we had the beast from the east where the weather really turned bad. And at the time, I was picking Shelley up from Ireland and bringing her back in the car, driving in that weather. And while I was out of the country for a night and came back the next day, they'd all died. And I think it was just with the temperature drop, it was more than what the heater could handle. The LPS were all fine, but then I thought, right, if it's that, oh well, I've tried it. I'm not doing it again because of how quick it was. And then what have I done today?
Yep.
Straight back into it's like, I mean, the logic I used, the frags were, the frags were £15 for 2, and 25 for one of the bigger ones, and he actually dropped that to 20 for 2. So it was like, if I'm going to take a risk, these are dirt cheap to give it a try.
Yeah.
So I'll do it then. But even after me saying before, I even said to Shelley, stop looking in those tanks because I'm not doing it again. And sure enough, the right price comes round and you do it again.
Exactly.
And the reason I was saying I didn't want to do it again was because of if it was successful, where's it going to lead?
Like I said, one, I'm in the planning phases. I've been doing the research for about 10 years. Honestly, 10 years.
Yeah.
The snails are
What's took you so long? Just
financial difficulties.
Yeah.
I was quite lucky this last year. Well, I started getting back into fish January last year, and that was I was going for a shit time at home and just thought I wanted a new challenge. So found some cheap tropical tanks, but the local fish store also sold the marine. And sure enough, I found myself in the marine sections all the time. It's like, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one, but I can't. And then that's when you start the research, isn't it? It's like, oh, well, what would it cost? What would I have to do?
Yeah.
And 4 tanks later.
Yep.
And it's expensive mistakes as well. And that's the only. If you kill a fish in tropical, I mean, I was keeping tiger barbs. I mean, most expensive fish was £13. So you kill one of them, it's like it's upsetting, but it's not the end of the world.
Right.
My cheapest fish is £30 in the marine world.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the price of fish yet. In all reality, I mean, I've seen some tangs that go for about $35 to $40. But
how big's the tank?
It's going to be a 75 gallon.
That's good.
And one of the fish that I plan on, as Craig knows, plan on getting, and it's going to be down the road before I get it. After I get the tank set up, and is going to be a Mandarin Dragonette. And I really love them. They're very beautiful. I just like I said, I know it's going to take a while for this tank to get established before I can get one.
But if you know what you have to do beforehand, at least you know what to do in preparation for getting it. It's not a case of you go to the shop, do the drastic, I want it now, and then, crap, I've got to buy a pack of pods every week.
Yeah. My refugium is going to be big enough to start producing them by itself.
Great.
I plan on getting another 75 gallon that I'm going to turn into the sump.
Hang on. 55-gallon tank and a 75-gallon sump.
No, both are 50. Both are 75.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That's like.
Are you going to have your main tank above where your head is?
No, it's actually these things are adjustable to go up and down. So
All right.
I just moved that up there because I needed to get to a wall outlet.
All right.
Hook up,
So what I'm saying is it's going to be stacked. Your system's going to be stacked, one above the other.
Yeah.
I can't hear you at the moment.
He said, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What you could do is do a display refugium tank. Yeah. So you can keep things like dragon's breath. You can keep different algae in there.
Yeah.
And do a display refugium, and run that with like put rock in there, and then just do different algae. And that way, dragon's breath, fire.
Do you know Reef Builders? He did a video and he went to somebody's shop, and as a refugium algae, they used just dragon's breath, and as opposed to Cheeto, where you just this big ball of green rolling and rolling and rolling, it was all the little macro leaves and everything, and they were just in loads of little pods just spinning round, and on its own, it just looks stunning. Let alone the tank. When he did the video on it, I'll see if I can find it. It was the sump was just as impressive, if not more, than the tank.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's what I would do if I was going to do it that way. I would do a refugium as a display as well.
Well, I really don't want to show the skimmer and everything that's going to be in the sump with it.
Yeah.
You could box it off.
I could.
Put paneling and just cover it up. Because my display tank, I'm guessing it's a racking, isn't it, that you've got there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's a wooden built stand. I did it myself, and the paneling, I just got the pressure clips. So I didn't want a tank that you had to open a door. Because if you open a door, there's always going to be that day you're in the tank messing with your sump or whatever, and there's the door just knocking you on the back of the head continuously as it keeps shutting itself.
I have a story similar to that. But it's from the Navy. When I was in the Navy, I was working on a watertight door, and the arm came down and bonked me right on top of the head. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the same as like on my doors on my Reefer. So like you have two little bits that come out, so it's like a soft closing type of thing. But when the doors open, they poke out. So I always push them back in. So because you're in the tank, and the first thing I think of is I'm going to turn around and poke the eye out with it.
Yeah.
So I tend to push them back in.
I'll be working under there, and I'll forget I'm underneath it and try to stand up and bonk my head that way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily I got enough hair this time to cushion the blow.
Yeah. Only so much, sir. Only so much.
It's why I like one of the best things I did was just get those pressure switches. So it clips in, holds it there, and when I want to work under the sump, I take it out, and it's just completely open. I don't have a standing brace in the middle because I used for a 200-litre tank, 55-gallon, whatever you want to call them, depending on which country you're from.
Yeah.
It's 2x4 wood, and it's two lots of it as well, back to back. So it's almost a 4x4 going up with the frame on the outside of it. So it's really strong and well held together well. So, but although it was more for the wood, getting the thicker stuff to support it, when I look under my tank, I have all the room. There's nothing in the way.
Nice.
And I'll tell you, there's a lot to be said for that, because I went to one guy's house and he had a shop-built stand, and it looked nice. It looked better than mine when it was set up and everything. But when he opened it up, the stump underneath it fit in at the back. But if he wanted to do anything, he had to open 3 doors that opened different ways, and
Yep.
each door had a supporting panel going up the middle. So his sump was almost divided by the doors, let alone the barriers inside the sump.
Every time.
Because he got his sump later on, as opposed to with the tank, it wasn't like in sync with the door panels. So you've got 2 door panels and 3 baffles. So everything was slightly off to where they wanted to be. So it was a pain to do.
Yeah, I'm looking at making it easy for me to get in and out of, and with what I got behind me, it's going to be a lot easier for me to adjust heights and everything else.
How much weight can that take?
Each one of these bars here can hold up to 1,600 pounds.
That's about 800 kilos, isn't it? Thereabouts.
Give or take. Yep.
Yeah.
Craig can translate American to metric.
Yeah,
I use
do it.
the only reason I use kilos is because I know a liter of water is a kilo. That's the measuring standard. So when I was told it's a 200-liter tank, I'm like, well, give or take with a rock, you're looking at up to 250 kilos. So I knew that was my. It just made it easy for me to add up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like I got to drop off. My old lady's calling me.
We're getting close here too. I've been on for an hour now. I didn't even look. So
Yeah.
But I thought I'd hop
Now?
on and say boo to everybody. I got to do short stints for this moment. I have not been feeling well again, but we're looking into it to make sure it's nothing serious. I don't think it is. Just tired, man. I've been working my ass off doing stuff in the background. I just spent 2 stressful days emptying my 120, and I'm still not done. But it's like I can't be bothered with that. I'm going to get the razor out and clean the back.
It's very emotional even as well, isn't it? When you're like I said, with your fox face, you're giving it away and you're looking and thinking, is it going to see tomorrow? It's horrible.
Yeah, I'm glad he actually did all right.
Yeah.
That was the big one, was the fox face for me. For the wife, it was the fox. He's been our entertainment. He does barrel rolls. He poops sand. He does neat things. But unfortunately, I can't put him in a 20-gallon tank. It's not fair to the fish or the other fish because he's going to be in there just losing it. What? You need to do something with my phone? Okay, we'll give it a sec. Anyway, there you go. So the wife's going to use my phone. So I'm going to cut it off, guys, for the night. Yeah, you can go ahead, I guess. Anyway.
Yeah.
Frogfish are extremely popular right now. So what I'll do, I'll try to get on tomorrow. And go ahead, Raven.
No, I was just saying, I was just answering Royd's Reef, sort of like with that.
Oh, yeah. No, they're really getting popular.
Yeah.
They're cool little fish. Yeah. They're just, they're hard to keep. They're messy eaters, too. So, absolutely. So, all right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you soon. I'll try to get a little more regular here moving forwards. See how it goes.
I was going to say, it's not night time here, it's morning.
Morning for you guys. That's right. It's like, what, 4 in the morning? So.
3 a.m. in the morning.
3 a.m. Get him in, crazy bellends. All right, guys.
Catch you later.
Night, guys.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.